What is happening, everybody? Trey here, and today at Reactions to the Classics, gonna be doing something a bit different and unique on the channel in regards to our top 10 list. This time, we are gonna be looking at one of our longtime patrons and friend of the channel, Bekka, and she submitted her own top 10 of her favorite songs of all time. So we're just gonna call this Bekka's top 10 today, and I don't think you're gonna be disappointed as I peruse the list for the research and whatnot. There's some heavy hitter bands on here, and also some I think some gems on here for people who maybe aren't familiar with the songs they might enjoy. I'm familiar with 6 of the 10 on here, so I like that too. There's going to be some tunes in here that will be a first time reaction for me as well, so looking forward to just diving into it. Bekka's been a patron for well over a year now, a regular in our live streams, and she knows a lot about music, man, so I'm looking forward to going into her list, and man, just enjoying some great tunes. As always, gonna have the lyrics pulled up, and due to copyright, might not be able to put all of the music up in here on YouTube, but there will be a link to Vimeo down below where you can check out the full video with the music included, uncut. Shout out to the patrons who help get us that server space on there, man. But enough talk, let's just dive into this list. Thank you again, Bekka, for curating this, and be sure to let me know and Bekka know in the comments which of these are your favorite, and if you're feeling so inspired, drop your own top 10 favorite songs of all time as well. But we're gonna kick this off with a song that actually appeared in another top 10 that Bekka did that was fantastic, the top 10 night songs. We have Abba coming in here with Summer Night City, single from 1979, a fantastic jam on the night top 10. That was the first time I had ever heard it, and it's honestly one of my favorite Abba tunes, actually. Written by Benny and Bjorn as a tribute to their hometown of Stockholm. Allegedly, the mixing for this took at least a week, far more than it took to mix any other track in their history. They felt something was wrong with the recording but couldn't put their finger on it. In the end, the song had an enormous amount of compression applied to it to give it more of a driving sound. A reluctant Abba decided to release it as a single despite their disappointment with it. Their ambivalence about the record has surfaced occasionally in interviews where Benny has said, quote, "We shouldn't have released that one," and Bjorn called the record, quote, "really lousy." Despite the group's negative views, it topped the charts in Ireland, Finland, Sweden, and it was the group's last #1 in their home country for 43 years until their comeback single that just dropped a month ago. So obviously it's always interesting to look at the backstory of these tracks too that are some of our favorites, and yet the artists themselves are not as high on them as we are. Just shows the difference in what some the creator sees it as to the fans, man. But all that to say, let's dive into this one. Thanks again to Bekka. Let's get our Abba on at number 10. All right, Summer Night City. What a way to kick off this list, Bekka. A wonderful choice right here, and I just think the song, as soon as it starts, as I mentioned in the reaction, like you're kind of transported to that late 70s time where you get a little of the disco sensibilities and those pop Abba sensibilities that they're just so unique to the group themselves, and the blend of that just makes for a very unique composition and a song that is just instantly catchy and just one that you can latch onto. I love the bass line in this track as well. That's just brimming underneath, and just it just has a cool factor about it, and definitely does encapsulate that nighttime feel in my opinion. And I just think that chorus too, whenever it's going along, after you hear it once, it's kind of in your head, and you're ready to be singing along that Summer Night City, walking in the moonlight, love making in a park. Summer Night City, those are summer nights right there, man. Love making in a park. I think the vocals and harmonies, as you expect with Abba, are just on point here, and heck, man, I don't have too much more to add to it other than it's just a great freaking track that I think that you'll never really get tired of, man. And you could play this for any, I think, type of music fan or group of people when you guys are having a good time, maybe on your own summer nights, and I think you'll make some new Abba fans if they weren't already. So now we're going to number 9, and it's going to be Bandmade. Bekka was the first to introduce RTTC to Bandmade here, and this was actually in the first triple shot reaction we did to Bandmade all the way back. I don't even know when it was, but this is their track Bubble from the 2019 record Conqueror. So, man, if you haven't heard of Bandmade before, they're a group from Japan made of, an all-women group who just can absolutely rock your socks off, man. Great hard rock, even dip into, kind of the heavy metal type of scene as well. Some fantastic musicianship. Be on the lookout, especially for the bass work as well from the great Misa. Me and Bekka love some great basses, and Misa is definitely the definition of that. So let's get it going. Right, Bubble by Bandmade, bringing it, man. And if you haven't ever heard Bandmade before, I think this is a good song to be introduced. I mean, this was one of the first Bandmade tracks I heard, and kind of got the bug after that, man. As you heard, Misa absolutely destroyed the bass work. Psyche, I think being able to go from English to Japanese and just kind of seamlessly transition in that is just so impressive, and something I can't fully appreciate, only being a English speaker, man. So just having that ability to do that, I think, is really impressive. Very anthemic chorus as well. As I kind of noted as the song was going, I enjoy how Bandmade kind of has those moments where you can kind of sit back, cue in on the great musicianship, and then when the chorus drops, it kind of gets the blood pumping, gets you hyped up a little bit. Just a great rocker, this one. Guitar work as well is absolutely fantastic. I mean, these ladies know what they're doing, man. They got a rabid fan base, and I think are going to continue to get more popular as the years go on. I know their songs have been popping up more and more in various different media things, even here stateside. So that's really cool to see, especially in our world where being global is hopefully a little bit easier, and people are a bit more accepting of foreign language bands here in the States, man. So shout out to Bandmade coming in at 9, and now we're going to another one of Bekka's favorites here. We got the Heavy with the track Curse Me Good from 2012's record The Glorious Dead. I know that the Heavy are really famous for the How You Like Me Now track. I don't really know too many of their songs, and I don't know this one, so this is the first one on the list. I'm going in blind, and I'm looking forward to what we got. All right, man, the Heavy bringing the heat here. Curse Me Good, gotta add that to the favorite list after first listen here. Wow, I thought Kelvin, the lead singer here, man, he's got a I don't know. It seemed like his voice was perfect for the musical arrangement that we had. Spencer Page, shout out to him on the bass as well. Yet again, a prominent bass line in the three tunes that we've had up to this point, man. The idea, I think, in this song is there's obviously some strife between these two people in a relationship, and I think the guy's like, he's kind of ready. He's all like, is this almost all you got? He notes, if you're looking for a fight, well, I'm a war machine. Is it just an exercise in self-restraint? Is your picture perfect size or a bitch to paint? Be my bloody Valentine or a cruise ship whore? If you're working overtime, what you need me for? And then that transitions us into almost the sing-song-like chorus. And if you want to cry about something, I'll make it something worth crying for. And if you need to curse my name, curse me good. I think he's just almost like, yeah, you want to come and attack me? Well, bring it on, in a sense. That's what I'm getting out of it on first listen. I could be totally off on that, ladies and gentlemen, but all I know is that the chorus was, again, quite anthemic, and definitely the highlight for me. Not that the rest of the song was bad. I thought it was interesting how we moved to strings towards the end, and just kind of we kept that chorus going, that refrain, for a little while, and I was here for it, man, since that was my favorite part of the jam here. So shout out to the Heavy, man. I enjoyed that quite a bit. And now up to number 7 on Bekka's list, we have Pearl Jam with the track Not For You from Vitalogy. And man, that this is a record that a lot of people love. I know Bekka's really high on it. I need to get to listening to it soon. This was the second single. Although credited to all members of the band, it was primarily written by Eddie Vedder. Mike McCready, the guitarist, said of this track, Tom Petty sent me this amazing 12-string Rickenbacker, and Not For You was the first time I used it. It was like a Christmas present. One day it just showed up at my door. I called him up and thanked him, but it's a cool song, an Eddie song. Wouldn't that be awesome if Tom Petty just sent you a guitar and you didn't even know it? Eddie said of this, I believe that there is something sacred about youth, and the song is about how youth is being sold and exploited. I think I felt like I had become part of that too. Maybe that's why sometimes I have a hard time with the TV, into music and much of the media and the magazines. When I pick up a magazine, I just count how many pages of ads before the first article starts. You go 1, 2, up to 15 or 20 more, and then in the back you have phone sex ads. So I pretty much had it. I don't want to be the traveling medicine show where we go out, do the song and dance, and someone else drops the back of the wagon and starts selling crap. I don't want our music to sell anything or anyone else use it. There are a lot of middlemen somewhere between the band and the audience. I know you need some people to help facilitate things for the live show. I'm not saying I don't appreciate these people, but in the last 10 or 15 years, there have been a lot of changes in music, and somehow the percentages being charged got out of hand. We also don't want to be part of all the marketing tools or whatever, but believe me, we have been. That happened on the first album. That's probably why we are here where we are now. But it was hell, and I feel awful about it, and I'm not going to do it anymore. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Not For You, Pearl Jam, bringing the absolute heat here. Yet again, a great song, but hey, I guess it wouldn't be on Bekka's top 10 list if it wasn't, judging by the list so far, man. Starting with Eddie's vocal performance, man, just the passion that he employed on this song was something special. One of his better vocal performances, in my opinion, maybe not on a technical level, but just through the emotion and just kind of fury that he's employing. And you can tell that this actually means what he's saying here. Starting off, I think it just captures just that kind of what he was saying, the exploitation of the youth, and just kind of that youthful spirit that we all have, that the world wants to beat out of us. You know, he notes, restless soul, enjoy your youth, like Muhammad, hits the truth. I'm thinking Muhammad Ali, boxing, who knows, can't escape from the common rule, if you hate something, don't you do it too. I think that's a great line as well, because we're all, you know, kind of in that whenever you're young, you kind of, a lot of youth are rising against kind of the man, the authority, and yet as time passes, they become that themselves. You know, it's one of those tricky situations there, and I think Eddie's calling that out. And then I think it gets a little bit more personal to Eddie here. He notes, small, my table sits just two, got so crowded I can't make room. I'm feeling after the success of 10 that happened and the fame that came. He notes, oh, where did they come from? Storm my room, and you dare say it belongs to you, to you. Yet again, that music that Eddie and Pearl Jam created now is belonging to the powers that be, to be advertised, marketed, and exploited for something that it maybe wasn't intended. And then we just get the simple chorus, this is not for you. McCready had some great guitar work in here as well, and it almost had a bit where we then stripped it all back, just the bass work was going, Eddie was spitting some fire, and then we just ended with a bit of a longer instrumental section, which I thought yet again was quite solid. So another song I'm gonna have to add to my like Spotify. So thank you, Bekka. And now we're gonna go up to an absolute iconic jam, number 6 here on Bekka's list. It is the Beatles. It is Strawberry Fields Forever, one of their great compositions, one of the best songs of all time, in my opinion, and obviously Bekka's as well. So it was a single, and of course later on Magical Mystery Tour in '67, a double A-side single actually with Penny Lane. What a 1-2 punch that is. Lennon wrote this in Spain where he was filming the movie How I Won the War. Drew inspiration from his childhood memories of playing in Strawberry Field, a Salvation Army children's home near where he grew up in Liverpool. It's actually the first track recorded during the Sgt. Pepper sessions. Of course, it didn't end up on that record because the record company were clamoring for new product. You know, the group were forced to issue the single. Song took 55 hours to record, the longest song recording session for the Beatles up to that point. Had 3 distinct versions of the track. Each one was different in structure, key, and tempo. Yet the release recording was created through a combo of the final 2 versions. After reviewing the acetates of the new remake and the previous version, Lennon told George Martin that he liked both the original lighter, Take 7, and the intense scored version of Take 26. Wanted to combine the two. Martin had to tell Lennon that the orchestral score was at a faster tempo and in a higher key than the earlier recording. Lennon assured him, "You can fix it, George." I mean, shout out to George Martin, man. Without him, the Beatles would not have been what they were. Martin and Geoff Emerick carried out the difficult task of joining the takes together with only a pair of editing scissors, 2 tape machines, and very speed control. Emerick compensated for the differences in key and speed by increasing the speed of the first version and decreasing the speed of the second. And that's kind of what gives Lennon's voice that kind of otherworldly quality about it, man. They don't make them like they used to, so to speak. And I'm sure the editors and producers of today are thankful that they don't have to get out the scissors to to edit songs. So let's listen to this masterpiece, man. All right, y'all. Strawberry Fields Forever, one of the great songs of all time. I love that Bekka has this on her list. So much to love about this song, so much to dive in. Won't be able to touch on everything, but I mean, some of my favorite lyrics that John ever penned are in this track, man, and just the psychedelic nature of the tune is just still so otherworldly. And I still never really heard a song like this, even with all the music I've listened to throughout various different decades, man. And it's just one of those titans of a song that I think is always going to hold up as the generations continue to go on. One of their great compositions, man. So impressive. I really love the opening lines in the first verse. "Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. It's getting hard to be someone, but it all works out. It doesn't matter much to me." Here in the whole song, you have John kind of wrestling with what is right, what is wrong, kind of confused and wondering about life in general. And yet Strawberry Fields, this childhood place, is kind of at the heart of it all in the chorus. "Let me take you down because I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields Forever, baby." That mantra is just kind of at the heart, I think, of the song, and just what John was probably going for. That even amidst all this confusion, you can kind of, in a sense, think back to simpler times. That Strawberry Fields, that you got to keep that going on as long as you can. Further in the confusion, "No one, I think, is in my tree. I mean, it must be high or low. That is, you can't, tune in, but it's all right. That is, I think it's not too bad." Just such a unique delivery as well. And if somebody else was just kind of reading those straightforward as I did and didn't bring that charisma and Lennon fingerprints on it, it would not have worked nearly as well. But and instrumentally, you have the orchestration, which is just beautiful, with the more kind of, we have the mellotron in there and just some interesting effects going on. I don't even know what all they did to make some of these types of sounds, but it's just sounds so great, man, so perfect. So just a lovely track, and I can't say enough good things about it. And now to the top half of Bekka's list, we're going to cue up some Green Day with Geek Stink Breath from the Insomniac record in my birth year, 1995. It was the lead single. Lyrics tell of the effects of methamphetamine on the body. The word geek is actually slang for methamphetamine, so I didn't know that. So if you're calling someone a geek, I mean, I guess you can think twice now. The lyrics were inspired by Billy Joe Armstrong's own experiences, as well as the people around him that he saw lose control of their lives because of their addictions. Features a hard-rocking 3-chord riff, pays homage to the band's 70s punk influences, including the Sex Pistols and the Ramones. I do know some Green Day, some Dookie action, some American Idiot, but I don't know this song. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Just a little over 2 minutes. Let's get it. All right, Geek Stink Breath, bringing it in here, man. Green Day packed a punch in just over 2 minutes. They made the most use of their time. Got a lot in here lyrically. I do enjoy that 90s era Green Day, because Billy Joe still has that kind of youthful exuberance in his voice here, where he kind of sounds a bit just put off by everything, and yet you can tell he's having a good time doing what he loves in here. His guitar work is as lively as ever on this song. Trey Cool, shout out, man. There's not a lot of Treys in the music industry. Is always great on the kit as well. He notes, I'm on a mission. I made it my decision lead a path of self-destruction, a slow progression, killing my complexion, and it's rotting out my teeth. So, there's no reading in between the lines here. And I thought the chorus, being able to actually use the word methamphetamine, not an easy task, man. I'm blowing off steam with methamphetamine. Well, don't know what I want, and that's all I've got, and I'm picking scabs off my face. The imagery here was, quite striking, and hey, maybe they need to play this instead of doing the DARE programs at school. And he just continues to kind of expound on the ill effects of drug use and just the pains of addiction, and the ending there, the last 5 seconds, we kind of finally got the track, the title track, Geek, Stink, Breath. I thought that was tight, man. So good shout right there, Bekka. I like that. That's something a bit unique, and that's why I like looking at people's actual personal top tens, because you don't just get your cliched answers. So now we're going up to number 4 on the list. The GOAT, Bob Dylan, man, with Things Have Changed. Sean and I actually did a song reaction to this a while back for Bekka, man. Wasn't aware of this tune, and Bekka introduced us. Great song. From 2000, the Wonder Boys soundtrack won the Academy Award for Best Original Song and the Golden Globe for Best Original Song. So Bob had a nice award season in 2000. Curtis Hanson, director of Wonder Boys, has recalled, quote, "I learned that Dylan might be interested in contributing an original song. So when I came back from filming in Pittsburgh, Bob came by the editing room to see some rough cut footage. I told him the story and introduced him to the characters. We talked about Grady Tripp and where he was in life emotionally and creatively. Weeks later, a CD arrived in the mail. It didn't enter the Billboard Top 100, but it peaked on number 2 on the adult alternative songs chart, and 58 on the UK singles chart. So let's get into this one. All right, Things Have Changed. What a track by Mr. Dylan right here, man. I'll start off with the instrumentation, man. Guitar work is fantastic on this, blending the electric and the acoustic dual right there. I think it works perfect for Bob's more mature type of voice that we have in here. Kind of continues on the Time Out of Mind type of a vocal delivery on that record from a few years prior. And so many great lines to just sit and ponder. And as with a lot of Dylan songs, I think interpretation is open to the listener here, man. He notes at the start, "A worried man with a worried mind. No one in front of me and nothing behind. There's a woman on my lap. She's drinking champagne. Got white skin, but she's also got those assassin eyes." So he's already kind of building in this first verse, which continues on in the song, this person who's kind of a drifter, who is still trying to kind of find their way in the world, who notes the changes that have gone on in the world, who notes that even when it seems like you're winning, ultimately you're probably going to lose. I don't want to go so far as to say cynical, but maybe realistic is a good way to describe this person. He notes, "Standing on the gallows with my head in a noose. Any minute now, I'm expecting all hell to break loose." Then we get to just the chorus that it says it all, man. "People are crazy and times are strange. I'm locked in tight. I'm out of range. I used to care, but things have changed." Definitely is a track that I think can describe the last few years here in America in particular, man. He continues to go on here. Some of my favorite lines are, "I've been trying to get as far away from myself as I can. Some things are too hot to touch. The human mind can only stand so much. You can't win with a losing hand." So I think here he goes back to that that idea that, hey, I have a losing hand here, and nothing's really going to change that more than likely. It's feel like falling in love with the first woman I meet, maybe to kind of soothe that losing hand pain, putting her in a wheelbarrow and wheeling her down the street. I would not suggest doing that, Bob. And as we go through, I thought the cool little Easter egg, the next 60 seconds could be like an eternity. There's only 60 seconds left in the song. Cool touch by Bob right there. And he notes, "All the truth in the world adds up to one big lie." So I just kind of scratched the surface on that track. You can check out our full song reaction for a bit more of a detailed breakdown. But all that to say, man, I don't know if this is one that appears in a lot of people's top Dylan songs, but I think that's more a case of it just being a bit overlooked as opposed to its quality, man, because it's great. And heck, I mean, it won multiple awards, so it obviously, Bekka and I aren't the only ones to think that. So now, top 3, ladies and gentlemen. we're getting to rarefied air, and we're gonna go to the great CCR in Green River from 1969's record of the same name. I just listened to this actually a few days back, ironically enough, in preparing for our 1969 draft album video that we're doing. But anyways, a little bit about this. It was a single, went to #2. Song was based on a childhood vacation spot of John Fogerty, who is the lead vocalist, songwriter, and guitarist for CCR, if you don't know. In an interview in 2012, Fogerty said, quote, "What really happened is that I used a setting like New Orleans, but I would actually be talking about things from my own life. Certainly a song like Green River, which you may think would fit seamlessly into the Bayou vibe, but it's actually about the Green River as I named it. It was actually called the Puta Creek by Winters, California. It wasn't called Green River, but in my mind, I always sort of called it Green River. All those little anecdotes are part of my childhood. Those are things that happened to me actually. I just wrote about them and the audience shifted at the time and place." Fogerty added that the actual specific reference, Green River, I got from a soda pop syrup label. My flavor was called Green River. So didn't know any of that, man, so I thought it was worthy to share. Just as you expect with some CCR, man, it's gonna be some great swamp rock. All right, Green River, and I've noticed on some of these tracks that we've had in here that idea of kind of looking back to your past and just youth in general, kind of a theme that's popping up, and I think Green River has that as well here. Instrumentally, I think it just encapsulates that great CCR swamp rock type of sound. Fogerty's riff on this is infectious, man. It just it fits the song quite well, and it wouldn't be a great CCR track without a little mini guitar solo by Fogerty himself here, man. So I thought John crushed the guitar work, and as we dive into the lyrics, just that first line kind of sets that stage. "Well, take me back down where cool water flow, y'all. Let me remember things I love. Stopping at the log where the catfish bite, walking along the river road at night, barefoot girls dancing in the moonlight." So some fantastic imagery, especially here, being in Texas. I can kind of remember as a kid those types of those hot summer nights, man. And Fogerty just kind of conjures those types of images up, man. And he continues to kind of describe the Green River atmosphere. And then he mentions at the end, after the guitar solo, Cody's camp, and Cody Jr. said to him, "You're going to find the world is smoldering. And if you get lost, come on home to Green River." Almost like, come back home, back to where kind of your youth, your good memories, your innocence, and good times, and people who know and love you are. And I think that's, kind of the crux of the song. We all have our own Green River, so to speak, that hopefully we can all return to when maybe the times get a little tough out in the big scary world. So a great jam right there. And it's this record's so loaded, man. CCR, especially 1969, we're just on absolute fire. One of the great American bands of all time, and songs like this show why. So now, ladies and gentlemen, up to #2 on Bekka's list, and it's one of the most famous songs of all time from one of my favorite bands of all time. It's Nirvana, baby. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Obviously off of Nevermind, 1991. Cobain came up with the title when his friend Kathleen Hanna wrote "Kurt smells like Teen Spirit" on his wall. Hanna meant that Cobain smelled like the deodorant Teen Spirit, which his then girlfriend Toby Vale wore. Cobain didn't even know about the deodorant until months after the song released. He was thinking it was more like a punk rock anarchy type of slogan, since they were talking about those topics. He began writing it a few weeks before Nevermind, and he presented the song to his bandmates. It comprised just the main guitar riff and the chorus vocal melody, which bassist Chris Novoselic dismissed as ridiculous. In response, Cobain made the band play the riff for an hour and a half. Eventually, Chris began playing the riff more slowly, inspiring Dave Grohl to create the drum beat. As a result, it is the only song on Nevermind to credit all three band members as writers, and I'm sure as royalties have gone on, they are pleased with that. The guitar chords were double-tracked to create a more powerful sound, and the riff definitely resembles Boston's famous hit "More Than a Feeling." It didn't initially chart, only sold well in regions where Nirvana was already established a bit. It was intended to be a bass-building alt-rock cut and not expected to be a hit. The follow-up single, Come As You Are, was planned as the single that could cross over to the mainstream. However, campus radio and modern rock stations played it on heavy rotation. Of course, the video on MTV got incredibly popular and really helped kind of spark Nirvana and just the kind of explosion of their popularity in '91. It reached 2 on Rolling Stone's Best Singles of the Year, peaked at 6 the same week. Nevermind was at number 1. In the UK, it was number 7 and charted for an astronomical 184 weeks. Nominated for 2 Grammys as well. Obviously very familiar with this track, man. And it's one of those that I think falls into the range where it's a great tune, but people have heard it so much that they kind of dismiss how great a song it is. But as we'll go down memory lane, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll remember how great this song is. The iconic Smells Like Teen Spirit, probably one of the most heard songs of the past 30 years. As Nevermind just hit the 30-year anniversary last week here at the time of this recording, man. Everything's been said about this song that could be said. I'm just going to point out a couple things that always that stand out to me even after how many times I've heard the song. The riff is just obviously so catchy and iconic, and as soon as you hear that, the opening seconds, like it just kind of gets the energy raised a bit, gets you ready, and Grohl's drum beat kind of with it, you can't help but headbang just a little bit here. Interesting lyricism as you go through it as well too. I like the play on words, the hello, 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 and then how low. Kurt did that a lot in his songwriting, and it's interesting too in the chorus, showcasing. I mean, the chorus, when you really get down to it, especially at the end, is just a bit kind of random and whatnot, and it just goes to show you sing something with enough passion and have a great musical backing with it, it can become one of the more popular songs of all time, man. The whole mulatto and albino, a mosquito, my libido. And then as you continue to go through, I really enjoy verse 2. I'm worse at what I do best, and for this gift I feel blessed. Yet again, these paradoxes that pop up throughout the song and just in Kurt's work in general. Our little group has always been and always will until the end. Then we have the guitar solo, which I've talked to some people who play guitar and who know a lot of Kurt's guitar work and solos aren't really that complex, and yet they for some reason, one way or another, they end up standing out to you, and this works well with whatever effects that Kurt used on it. I think it just stands out as just so fresh and modern even 30 years later. And then of course you get the name of the record. I found it hard, it's hard to find, oh well, whatever, never mind. The rest is history, ladies and gentlemen. This honestly wouldn't probably even be in my top 10 Nirvana songs. But when you look at it as a song itself, and just for its iconic status and just how many legendary things are in it, you can't not have it, near the top when you're judging by that criteria. So I love that Bekka gave Nirvana some love and gave Smells Like Teen Spirit the number 2 spot. And now, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, Bekka's number 1 song, her favorite song of all time. And I had to wear the shirt of the man himself here. We have Jimi Hendrix, Purple Haze, ladies and gentlemen. Are You Experienced record, one of my favorites, and I know one of Bekka's favorite albums of all time. This song is just obviously so iconic. Was the second single, only charted up to 65 in the US, which is a bit surprising, but went to 3 in the UK. Inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame and is included in many lists on the greatest guitar songs ever, including number 2 by Rolling Stone and 1 by Q. The guitar solo here, ladies and gents, features one of the first uses of the Octavia guitar effects unit. And acoustical and electronics engineer Roger Mayer developed the unit with input from Jimi himself. It doubles the frequency of the sound it is fed, essentially adding an upper octave. Although the lyrics, which opened up Although the lyrics to Purple Haze, which actually opened up the US edition to Are You Experienced, which is my favorite edition of the record, they're often misinterpreted as describing an acid trip. Jimi himself explained, "It was all about a dream I had when I was walking under the sea." He speculated that the dream may have been inspired by a science fiction story about a purple death ray. Jimi loved him some science fiction, as you see kind of later on in his work as well. So we're going to cue this up, man, and then at the end, I'll list my favorites of Bekka's favorites, man. This has been a great list. All right, topping Bekka's list here, the Great Purple Haze by Hendrix. And I think this one falls kind of like into that Smells Like Teen Spirit, where it's just been played so much on the radio that, some longtime fans kind of dismiss the track or probably put it lower than it needs to be. Because this song, just as you just really key in and dive onto the different aspects of it, it's just so fantastic, man. I think a lot of it might come down to that Octavia, contraption that, Hendrix was at the forefront and helping create. Just gives such a unique guitar tone and sound to it. Obviously, the psychedelic nature of the tune is just dripping off of every portion of it, from the guitar work to the vocal effects that we have on here, the backing vocals. Mitch Mitchell absolutely kills it on the drum kit, man. One of my favorite drummers. Obviously, he sometimes gets a bit overlooked just because Jimmy is so darn good, man, as evidenced by the guitar solo that's on this, and the intro, as you see, the longer I talk about it, the more and more stuff that just pops to mind of what is great on this tune. The intro just is a bit off kilter. Kind of the phasing in the headphones really contributes as well to the psychedelic nature, and I just think that Jimmy's voice is just kind of the perfect complement to this type of sound, man. Lyrically, obviously, that Purple Haze is all around, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know if I'm coming up or down. Am I happy or in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. This that kind of cry for help that comes in this song as well. I think even though it wasn't explicitly about drugs, I think that drug interpretation is a valid one. On top of the science fiction that Jimmy loved as well, man. Just an iconic song from one of the greatest albums of all time, and Jimmy is my favorite guitarist of all time, and one of my 10 favorite musical artists of all time, man. So, Bekka, loved that you gave our dude Jimi Hendrix the top spot on your list. And I guess that will now take me to my favorites off of Bekka's list. I'm just going to start at the top and go down. I mean, I really enjoyed every song on this list, but if I had to choose favorites, I'd go Summer Night City by Abba. I'd go Not For You by Pearl Jam, which was new to me. All the songs that were new to me on here, lived up to the hype and acclaim that Bekka has placed on them. I got to go Things Have Changed by Dylan, and Smells Like Teen Spirit and Purple Haze, man. I know that's half the list, and I could have just as easily chosen the other half as well. Just a really strong and varied list from top to bottom, man. So thanks again to Bekka for sharing her list and allowing us to enjoy it here today. Let us know what your favorites are from this list, and like I said, what are your top 10 favorite songs of all time? That's a question that I really need to kind of get in the lab and mark down my favorite songs of all time. A gargantuan task, to be sure, with how many great songs there are, but it'll be a fun exercise that I need to do in the coming weeks or months here. So thanks again to Bekka. If you'd like to submit your own top 10 list for an artist or your personal top favorite songs, or maybe just a song battle or reaction, you can check out the Patreon page, which is linked down below, and will also be at the end screen along with another video you might enjoy. But until next time, y'all, thanks so much for watching, happy listening, and I'll see you next time.